Welcome back to News 3 Today at 11. It's a time for us to prioritize our well-being, take steps towards building healthier habits, and connect with resources. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Held every year since 1949, it aims to reduce the stigma surrounding behavioral health issues, educate the public, and highlight that mental health is essential to overall wellness. Vera Salzburn is the Director of Impact at the Mediation Center. She joins us now with more. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you, Kim, for having me. Thank you.
Well, this is such an important topic. Recently, Governor Brian Kemp presented a proclamation, issued a proclamation declaring May Mental Health Awareness Month. And according to that document, it says that nearly 20% of children and young people in the United States report having a mental, emotional, developmental, or behavioral disorder.
That's correct. 20% of young people, as well as 1 in 5 adults, experience mental health disorders in Georgia and nationally. So there are a lot of organizations that take advantage of Mental Health Month to promote their services, to help people build awareness about the signs that individuals may exhibit when they experience those challenges. We're also here to encourage organizations to create policies that help employees to mitigate burnout and cope with anxiety and all the stresses related to work or life in general.
So I have a question about the numbers. Are the numbers high because we're seeing more incidents, or are they high because they're being reported more often?
This is a really good question. So I can give an example with suicidality and suicide prevention statistics. A lot of the times when it comes to suicide prevention, we see quite high number of reported suicides. In fact, in the United States, usually annually about 48 to 49,000 people lose their life to suicide. However, you can imagine due to stigma, due to different communities having different reporting procedures, we recognize that this is just the top of the iceberg. And the numbers that we can see through statistics a lot of the times are not accurately reflecting the totality of the problem.
So we're talking about burnout and anxiety and all of these things that we're consuming in our brains because we're doing all the things at all the times, and all of the information, especially in today's day and age, we're getting. How does that affect our bodies?
Exactly. So it's really interesting how there is this common notion that we are able to multitask as human beings. And according to brain science, multitasking is not quite what happens in the brain. We're able to respond to things quickly, but that does happen on one-to-one basis. So the more information is thrown at us, the more tasks we have to manage, the more problems we have to solve in our brain, the more energy we use, and it does affect our stress levels. And a lot of the times it can keep us in that state of activation, in that state of alertness, which can very much so lead to a burnout, fatigue, anxiety. And if a person is stuck in those patterns for a prolonged period of times, weeks and weeks, it can actually become a chronic condition.
So how do we dig ourselves out of that?
Yes, that's a good question. Sometimes we need to go to a doctor, sometimes we need to go see a therapist, we need to take medication. But on a day-to-day basis, we can build simple resiliency skills to help our brain take those micro breaks. So using your senses, for example, is one skill. It's a mindfulness skill where it's literally about stopping and smelling the roses, noticing the smells around you, noticing the colors, noticing the sounds, taking breaths, just taking breaks to take deeper breaths. That's a simple exercise, simple break. Surrounding yourself and creating an environment where you have objects that you can look at and that make you feel good or help you relax more. Think about the picture that you may have on the cover of your phone. A lot of the times, people who have a screensaver on their phone, it's their family or nature or some positive quotes. Somehow you created that resource for yourself intentionally, or maybe just not intentionally. So think about that. How can you create opportunities for your mind to go into a happier place? That's also one of the skills that we actually teach in our resiliency training.
We also have to realize that mental health and physical health go hand in hand.
They really do. So there is a very strong connection, and we know this from research, from science, between our body and our mind. So think about this. When you have ache in your body, or when you have discomfort in your body, can you truly feel relaxed and happy in that moment? Probably not. So creating opportunities for your body to relax more, exercising, eating food that energizes you and makes you feel good about yourself, that can also significantly impact our mental health. And what actually I also wanted to bring up, in 2022 in Georgia, there was a passing of the bill. It's a Parity Act that requires insurance providers to recognize mental health coverage equally with health coverage.
Yes.
So even that tells us now that on different levels of government and healthcare, there is now a recognition that mental health and health go hand in hand together.
And that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So one more thing. When we talk about support, how much of it relies on connectivity?
A lot. So as human beings, we are not meant to be alone, and connection and compassion are necessary for our brain and our body have a sense of safety. And only when we truly feel safe, that's when we can integrate information, make sense of our life, cope with difficult emotions, and make healthy decisions. So healthy connections, safe connections are so incredibly important for individuals' health, family health, and community health.
All right. And Vera, how can people find out more if they'd like to tap into the resources that you provide?
Yes, thank you. So please visit our website, mediationsavannah.com. We have a Facebook page. Actually, at the end of this month, the last Thursday and Friday of this month, we are offering a free to the community suicide intervention training. If you're interested, you can register online. And we offer regular opportunities for people to learn about resiliency and mental health virtually and in person.
All right, very important information. Vera Salzberg, thank you for joining us today. And you can find more information and see this interview again with Vera on our website by going to wsav.com/community corner. Right now, it's time for a look at our forecast. Good morning, Alyssa.
Well, good morning, Kim. We've been tracking the slow-moving cold front since this morning, bringing with it a first cluster of rain showers and a few rumbles of thunder out there throughout the early morning hours. And that rain has really helped stabilize the air so far, allowing for our chance, at least throughout the late morning hours, for severe storms to be on the lower end. Though we are starting to see those rain showers pop up along the cold front itself. You can see how they're firing up with those severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornado warnings across the Florida Panhandle. It does look like that's where a lot of the severe storms will end up remaining, as they have the highest chance of tracking severe storms. Though, of course, we'll still keep a close eye on it as we head throughout the rest of our Thursday, as we still have that cold front to get through. So hopefully the morning rain showers, as we're still tracking them south of I-16, will continue to help stabilize the atmosphere. Though again, we are looking at the greatest risk of severe weather over southwestern Georgia into Florida, with our main risk going to be those damaging winds here locally, as well as a possibility of a quick spin up. Now, we don't have a tornado watch in effect for our area. Of course, still closely watching that, though I do think that tornado threat remains well south of the coastal empire and low country, which of course is good news. Now, as we head into the rest of our Thursday, into our Thursday afternoon, we'll still track these rain showers. Some of them could be on the strong and severe side. That continues into our Thursday afternoon. Then gradually the cold front pushes off the coastline as we head into our Thursday evening, and then their chance of rain will end up winding down as we head into the overnight hours before we have another chance for tomorrow, continuing into this Mother's Day weekend. Though outside the rain for today, it stays warm. Our high temperatures remain in the mid-80s. It's also going to be a breezy day. We're looking at those winds even outside that cold front away from the rain to pick up, especially as we head into the early afternoon with wind gusts up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour. So today, of course, we're tracking that cold front. Then as we head into tomorrow, it sits to our south and stalls out. That's going to allow for these waves of rain to gradually make their way north. For our Friday tomorrow, we will start off the day dry, but still mostly cloudy. And then over the weekend, we have a few cold fronts swinging through. That's what's going to keep the chance of rain around for our Mother's Day weekend. So that's the biggest change out there, is we're still tracking that chance of rain into Mother's Day weekend. It is a little bit higher compared to what we have been talking about all week long. Still not a washout, just still tracking scattered rain showers off and on Saturday and Sunday. And then for Mom, temperatures are right around average in the low to mid 80s.
Don't worry, Mom. Alyssa has you. She has us all.
Exactly, and we need the rain.
We do need the rain.
Don't forget that. We really do still need the rain.
Right. Thank you, Alyssa. Coming up next, the lawsuit could have a major impact on maternity care in Georgia. After the break, what it may mean for patient safety going forward. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 today at 11. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today at 11. In our health report this morning, more than 1/3 of Georgia's counties are considered maternity care deserts, meaning those areas lack obstetricians or birthing facilities nearby. Midwives can be one solution to help close that health care gap, but as WSAV's Tyler Nicole found out, according to a new lawsuit filed in the state, midwifery could be putting patients at risk.
Are the solution to our maternity care deserts.
There are 15,000 certified nurse midwives in the country, and despite many thinking they just aid in the birthing process, they can care for women at any point in their pregnancy and even after. Nurse midwives are registered nurses with a specialty in midwifery, making them medically competent to treat and diagnose patients. But in the state of Georgia, they aren't allowed to practice without a physician collaborator.
Over 51% of the counties in Georgia that do not have an OBGYN provider at all. Midwives are available to fill that gap, but our regulations in Georgia do not allow us to actually do that.
Midwives are not typically offered in traditional medical settings here in Georgia.
Across the nation, 90% of midwives do births in hospitals. So only 10% are doing births in the birth center or home birth space. So that kind of knowledge of, oh, you're a midwife, you do home birth, is very common, but it's not necessarily true in the space of the United States. Allowing midwives in the hospital, adding midwives to the hospital-based community, bringing back the birth center, gives patients options that are currently not available to them.
That was WSAV's Tyler Nicole reporting. Monroe says her hope is that midwives will one day have full practice authority within the state of Georgia, allowing them to have their own independent practices that they say set the standard for nationally. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 today at 11. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today at 11. This year's Hollis Stacy Award winner has been announced, and she can truly do it all. Just listen to this. Jenkins High School senior Anaya Browner took home the prestigious honor for the City of Savannah's most versatile female athlete. Browner played football, flag football that is, basketball, and also ran track for the Warriors. She scored 35 touchdowns in flag football and was first team all-region in basketball. Back in March, Anaya signed a letter of intent with the Savannah College of Art and Design to play flag football at the next level. SCAD is scheduled to field its first team next spring. Congratulations, Anaya, and go Warriors. You know, that's my alma mater. Looking ahead is a space for business leaders, entrepreneurs, and for professionals to connect, exchange ideas, and create new opportunities. This Saturday, May 9th, the Metropolitan Savannah Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will host its 5th annual Women in Business Conference. The event lasts from 9 until 2 at the Hyatt Regency Savannah on West Bay Street. Registration is required and ends tomorrow. For more information, call 912-495-7276. Coming up next, local chef Darin joins us to talk about an exciting program to help you replace your old cookware for a great cause. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 Today at 11. We'll be right back. Welcome back to WSAV News 3 Today at 11. Next week, a unique project is turning old pots into new possibilities as Chef Darin's Kitchen Table celebrates 11 years with Community Cookware and their trade-in event. The man, the myth, the legend joins us now with more. Thank you so much for being here today. Pots as the prop. Pots as the prop. So we're talking about your Sip, Savor, and Celebrate Spring Open House event, but at the heart of the event is giving to others.
Yes. So we're very honored, grateful, and thankful to be celebrating our 11th anniversary, and that wouldn't happen without the community. And so we want to celebrate that, but we also want to create an opportunity for everyone to help themselves and help others. And we all have cookware that either maybe, has been passed down and you no longer use. A lot of times I find that when people are there for classes, they're like, oh, I really like this pot. I wish I had something like this. We oftentimes get used to whatever we got when we first got our apartment, people first got married, and you just get used to making do instead of when you have at a point where you can upgrade, you never quite think of it until you're using that pan. So this is a good chance for people to bring out stuff that's usable, even though it's used, but still usable, that they don't use anymore. They want to upgrade, they want to get something different, or just make room because they find that they don't need as much as they used to have.
You should see my cabinet.
Everyone's got those cabinets, and these are some that I'm getting rid of my cabinets because I just stuff that I don't use anymore. And so it's an opportunity for them to trade it in. We're going to give them $15 credit per piece, up to 3 pieces per person they can trade in. And then that credit can be used that night for any purchases in the store. It doesn't have to be cookware. If they need a good knife and they have cookware, they can trade in that cookware. They can apply it towards the knife. They can apply it towards anything in the store that evening. And on top of that, we're also doing 10% off all purchases that night too. So it's a great time. And it's going to go back to the community.
That's what I was going to say. That's the best part because this goes to people who may be just starting out, getting a fresh start on life. You're partnering with Gilliard and Company and Whitney, and what their organization does is they help young people who age out of foster care, and this is perfect.
Right. So they're going out of foster. The people they're helping are going out of foster care and getting set up in apartments and needing those basics that when we're so past that, we kind of take for granted and forget about what people need necessarily. And so this is a great opportunity where your usable cookware is going to go to someone that's going to really appreciate it. It's going to be put to use, and everyone benefits. You clear things out, they get what they need, and it's going to be a great time and lots to sip, savor, and celebrate in the process.
Yes, of course. So tell us about Darin's Kitchen Table.
So Chef Darin's Kitchen Table, we're a kitchen store and cooking school. We have 1,100 square foot teaching kitchen, 4 stations. So guests are actually cooking right along with us, cooking in tandem with me. The classes are about 3.5 hours in length. And of course, it's in the process of that, it's going to be a social experience, a learning experience. You're going to enjoy the food at the end. You have the recipes to take with you. You get a discount on merchandise that you may purchase that night. But beyond that, you may not have time or be inclined to take a class. We have a full kitchen store. So we have cookware, cutlery, cutting boards, bakeware. If you need it for your kitchen, we try to have it. We're always changing our selection and trying to make it useful to the public. So we're Savannah's local kitchen store.
So when I first met you more than a decade ago, you were at another establishment, hadn't started out on your own.
Right.
How did this all start, and where did the idea come from?
Years ago, I did a joint program when I was teaching in California State University, and we did a joint program with Le Cordon Bleu Paris, and that's when I fell in love with leisure classes.
Is that a humble brag right there? Is that a humble brag?
Maybe not.
Okay.
I was assisting, I wasn't leading the programs. But that's when I fell in love with the leisure concept of teaching, because these people were asking better questions than my academic students were. And they were wanting to know, where did you get this piece? Where did you get that tool and that sort of thing? And so that's when I first saw the benefit of bringing together people learning how to use things properly. Stainless steel cookware people have this misconception that things stick in it, but it's only because they're not working with it properly. And so when people learn how to use things properly or the benefit of certain tools and they have access to it right then, that's where I saw the benefit of that type of business. And so that was back in '95 when the whole concept for the business started to gel for me. But took many years and much more experience, and all of that was necessary and beneficial to get where I am today.
Yeah, now you're so sought after. So here's the information about the event. It's Sip, Savor, and Celebrate Spring Open House and Cookware Trade-In next Tuesday, May 12th from 4 until 8 p.m. at Chef Darin's Kitchen Table. That's at 2514 Abercorn Street, Suite 140. Enter on the 42nd Street side. You can find more information and see this interview again anytime by going to our website, wsav.com/Community Corner. Thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for making time for me.
No problem. Just want people to know that he's the one who got my daughter to eat Brussels sprouts, this man here. Coming up next is another dose of our Community Corner as we preview next week's Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce Small Business Job Fair. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 today at 11. We'll be right back.